Okay, so some of you have been asking me to make a video about how I set up my drive in Google Workspace and how I use docs and folders and everything just to keep everything organized. So I'm going to do a quick screen recording here of my drive just to show you how I have it set up. So I have in here all of my files that I keep for my clients. What I do is I pick a color. I've chosen red for this. For these are all just sample fake clients that I have set up. And I've chosen red to show you the client folders and named them. I just use first names and last initial. And if a client has the same last name, I would just use the first two letters, I guess. So I'm going to see if I can just open one up here and show you how I organize the inside of it as well. So I'll make an eval folder where I will keep all of their evaluation reports and any other reports I get from other professionals that are evals. I choose the same color for all my eval folders. I've chosen green in this case. And then session notes, information, and attendance are three different sheets that I keep in each folder for each client, again with their initials afterwards and in the name of the file. And when I open it, what I'll do is I'll just keep that name there, attendance, the client name, date of birth, and then the dates that they came, how much they pay. These are all just fake payments and cards. And session notes, I have set up the same way where I'll put my name, the address of my business. If I'm seeing someone in office, if you're doing virtual or home visits, you can leave that off. Just a phone number, and then include your NPI and tax ID number on your session notes, patient name, date of birth, and then you can either do a narrative form, which is how I take my notes. If you're doing soap notes, I know someone has asked me, can you do little drop downs? So if you do insert, you can do a drop down right there, and you can create a little drop down for yourself. If you want to name it, you could call that your soap notes drop down template, and then you could name each of these, subjective, etc., objective, assessment, and plan. And you could change the color of it if you wanted to, like that. I'll just do the first one for subjective so you can see how it works. So then I would come over here, and there we have subjective. If I have put in there also, objective, I could choose that as my next option. And it just serves as a way to kind of keep your notes organized with little headings like that, if that's something you prefer to do. Let's see. And I keep an information doc in there as well. When the client first calls and gives me some information on their concerns and reason for a referral, I'll just take some notes, and I'll keep that as a Google Doc in their folder as well. Let's see. Someone else was asking me about how to set up the files. How do I set up the notes, the drop downs? And let's see if there's anything else in the drive. So yeah, so I think it's a good idea to keep it organized by color. That's the best way to really set up these folders. Make all your client folders the same color. If you have a folder for tax information, I just did this as an example. You could do maybe another folder with a different color for your financial information. My intake forms I keep here, and I've labeled that purple. So just coming up with a system of organizing for yourself. And colors is a nice way to do this with the folders. And if you ever want to create a new folder, obviously you just come over here to new and hit new folder, and you can set that up as well. You can also create here forms, docs, whatever else it is that you're trying to create from that little drop down there in the menu. What I do also is if I have a client that's no longer going to be with me, I can either move them into an archive folder. If they're stopping therapy for the year, sometimes I'll just keep them active and I'll just turn the color. I'll change the color. And if you click that, you can just change the color, and I'll just do it like grayed out, so I know they're not an active client. Or like I said, you could just put them all into an archive folder if you'd like to do that. I think that's about it as far as the drive. It's pretty simple to organize. Google Docs is pretty simple to use as far as taking session notes. The only other way you could do it, some people like to use Google Forms or Sheets for session notes. I've just found that Docs has been easy for me. Docs is easy enough to, if we just, I'll open up one more session note example for you. It's easy enough also if you prefer to do like a table format to add here, to just come down, and if you'd like to do a table, you can just do insert and then table, and you can choose 2 by 4 by 2, something like that. And you can create a table for taking your notes as well, if that's a format that you like to use. All right.